everyone, thanks for joining us here. Thanks for watching that last video. Now I've got a fair few comments on how I painted my T60 helmet. So what I'm going to do is a quick video just showing the techniques I went through. I'm by no means a professional or barely an amateur, so join me and we'll just we'll go through this and how we got to this, and yeah, stick with us and let's make it happen. So what I've been doing for this power armor is I like to start with a chrome silver. Now it's a metallic chrome, so it has metal in it, so it sort of gives it starts off with a really dull effect, which I really like. Now on this helmet and the other parts of the armor, I pretty much just use the airbrush. So I've started off here with a black wash. I use a dry paper towel and I like to stipple over, so essentially it dulls everything down. It gets dirty in the deep cracks and crevices and in the rivets and the machinery parts of the helmet. So that's usually how I start with that first layer. Now once I'm happy with that, I move on to this second layer. I mix up a specific batch of like a lighter rust brown, and I change it for a lot of builds depending on what my base layer is and the effect I'm going for and everything like that. And this is very similar to the black, so I will start with a single light coat and I'll stipple over it in just those cracks and crevices, almost the same as where the black went, and I'll let it sit, and then I'll have a look at it and see, and then I'll put a second or a third layer on top of it. I will also like to do things like, obviously I try and go for where the water would run off the helmet, and areas I think where it would sort of take a little bit more of a beating, especially on the front of the face and things like that. So I generally will layer those a little bit more than sort of areas on the back of the helmet or around behind where it wouldn't be as weather affected over time. Now once that first layer is done, or I should say that first layer of rust is done, I like to get a darker brown. Now this darker brown, I will do the same again. I'll airbrush over it, I'll stipple back over it. Once that's dry, I will generally add a couple more coats and layers to the heavy areas, like the really battle scarred areas or chipped areas, rivets. So anything I think might be a dissimilar metal in real life, I will generally rust that up a little bit more, and just areas where I would think water would sit, or where the weather would hit it twice as hard as normal. And then I'll sort of let that sit for a while, and then I might go over it again and a couple of times. And I always have water and a wet paper towel handy, just in case I put on too much, or if I actually get like a brush stroke from the airbrush, it kind of ruins that realistic look with it. So yeah, but this is our final result, so very happy with this one. Anyway guys, that was that painting tutorial video. I hope you enjoyed it and learnt something from it as I did. But yeah, that was the T60 helmet. We will continue this build series as normal, and as always, thanks for joining in, and we'll catch you on the next video. Thanks everyone.